Hello everyone, how are you doing? Dear student, in this lecture we will be studying about difference between business, employment and professions, besides different objectives that a business organization established to pursue, and importance or role of profit earning for the existence, growth and survival of a business organization. That means how important profit is for a business entity to satisfy various related aspects. Very first, starting with the difference between profession, business and employment. The first difference we are going to learn in terms of commencement. That means starting. How can we start a business? Very first thing, we need to have huge amount of fund or capital. Thereafter we need to decide what kind of business organization we are going to establish. That means we need to identify a particular act or provision under which we are going to get registered in. For example, if we want to establish a partnership firm, then we need to get it and fulfill all those conditions which are required to get registered as a partnership firm under Partnership Act 1932. If we want to make it into limited liability partnership, then we need to rush to Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. And so the true for companies form, society form, cooperative society form and other kind of business entities form. That means we need to get registered ourselves under particular kind of corporate law. If we want to establish or we want to become a professional, we need to have a license or recognition from the recognized professional body which authenticate us to advise, to instruct and to guide others on the basis of formal experience, training and theoretical aspect clarity that we have gained over the period of time as per the methodology prescribed by the representative personal body. But if we want to become an employer, simply we have to enter into an agreement, because employment is not only skilled and semi-skilled. Unskilled employment is also considered as an employee. So we are not need to have educational qualification in all types of employment. Basically, we need to have an agreement in which employer asks employee to perform a particular kind of task for him, for which he would pay the agreed amount between these two parties. So in order to commence a business, we need to get it registered. In order to start a profession, we need to have the license or authentication from the representative personal body. But to become an employer, we need to enter into agreement with our employer. The second difference is the nature. What kind of work is being performed when we are acting as a businessman, as a professional or as an employer. Very first, talking about the business. In business, we either engage in the production of goods and services or they are buying and selling. That means we are facilitating distribution of goods and services to the customers that are identified the organization concerned. When we are acting as a professional, we are advising, we are counseling others by utilizing the knowledge that we have gained either through the formal knowledge or training or through our experience. And when we are acting as an employee, we have to perform that work, we have to do that task which is agreed between us and our employer. Then we are coming to talk about investment. Yes, in business organization, in order to establish a business entity, we need to have huge amount of capital in modern times, and even to keep pace with the changes that are being encountered day after day, we need to have even increasing amount of capital as we establish ourselves. We need to grow, we need to diversify. So capital is the basic need, and huge amount of capitals are needed to establish a business entity. In order to become a professional, if we are acting as a freelancer, we need to establish our own premises, be it our corporate office or be it our client contract point. Okay, in order to have contact with the client, we need to have some clinic, we need to have some SEO, etc. So we need some amount of capital which is relatively less than the business entity. But in case of employment, we are not having requirement of capital, because we are going to use the facility which is established or built by our employer. Then risk. Yes, where there is more capital, we need to have more risk. Business organization produce those goods, buy and sell those goods which are subjected to market conditions. So here we are having dynamism in the market which create uncertainty and consequent higher risk. In case of business organization, we are having higher risk because nowadays the taste and preferences of the customers are changing rapidly. In case of profession, we are having a degree of risk which is relatively lower than the risk which is experienced or beared by the business entity. Might possible that we establish our corporate office at a place where there is no demand of such kind of services, or due to some happening in our practice, something negative comes out about us. So in that case, we are having a minor degree of risk. But in case of employment, it depends on whether we are organized sector employees or unorganized sector employees. That means whether we are having a formal agreement with our employer or we are not having any formal agreement with our employer which is written. So we are having basically an oral understanding with our employer, which create risk. Otherwise, those who are having a formal agreement with their employees are not having any quantum of risk in their work performance. Then coming to talk about qualification. Specifically talking about India, in order to establish business, you need not to have any educational or professional qualification. Simply you need to have quantum of capital, experience and ability to bear the risk. That means you must have intensity to have encountered with the uncertainties of market. When we are talking about the profession, yes, we need to have authentication from the representative professional body in that particular field. When we are talking about employment, yes, nowadays we need to have some kind of educational qualification and experience when we are talking about semi-skilled and skilled or strategic job. But in case of acting as a laborer, we need not to have any kind of educational qualification, just we need to have physical strength to be competent for that work. Here we are coming to talk about objectives. The objectives of business entity is to earn profit, whatever kind of operation it has been performing or it is going to be performed. Then talking about professional want to earn their fees, be they are the lawyer, doctor, chartered accountant, whatever agreed amount has been settled between the employer and the particular kind of professional or customer and client. That amount is expected by them after the work is being done or during the work is being done, or even some of the professional may ask before starting the formal proceeding of their work. In case of employment, we expect our salary or wages or remuneration, whatever you hold. That means whatever amount has been instated in the agreement between employer and employee, that is required to be paid by employer, be it in the cash or kind or both. Then transfer of interest. It means, can we sell our interest in business entity? Yes, definitely we can sell. We can sell, be it the shares of company, be it the stake in partnership, or be our sole tradership business as a whole. We can sell our interest. Another party can become the owner of our business concern to some extent or entirely. It depends on our desire, whether we want to have participation or we want to have complete sale of it to the another party. In case of profession, we cannot transfer interest. The person who has had experience, the person who has name in the market, he is paid fees for that. So he cannot ask another lawyer or his assistant to treat or to advise his client. In that case, the professional man need to act personally, so the employee is also some kind of profession. That means he has personal ability to do the work. That is why he needed to act personally for the employer, because he is in agreement, and another body to whom he may ask is not the employee or servant of the employer. Here we cannot transfer our stake in both the cases, profession and employment. Finally, talking about test of efficiency, that means how much productive, how much effective, how much rational, how much advanced and how much effective you are. In case of business entities, the quantum of profit earned by the businessman or the management is the test of efficiency. In case of profession, our reputation, our prestige, how long line we are experiencing after our corporate office is the test of efficiency man. That means quality of advice extended by the professional person. In case of employment, how much devoted you are to the work that you agreed to is the test of efficiency. How effectively you are discharging your work responsibility which you have agreed with your employer. This is the difference between profession, business and employment. Now we are going to talk about objectives that a business entity is having. Basically, the objectives of business entity that it may have are categorized into three groups: economical objective, you may call them also organizational objective, social objective and personal or workforce related or human resource related objectives. Here we are talking about economical objective. Very first, survival. Whenever we are a new entity, or we are an establishing entity to ensure the survival of business organization is the main aim of the management or the business entity. At least we attain the break-even point. Not to talk of the profit, we have to cover our cost. At least we have to gain a significant amount of market share so that we can meet our cost. At least once we get established, then we start earning profit or adding markup into the cost when we determine the price of the product or service that we are offering to the market. So very first we have to establish our foot. We have to gain a market share which is enough to meet our cost. Then after creating quality service and quality product, we can decide to earn the profit. And when we start earning significant amount of profit, we will try to be more advanced. We will try to increase our production facility. We would like to establish more factory. We would like to have our own retail store. And finally, we will try to become a corporate entity. That means we would like to establish our business entity or industrial operations across different industries being existent in any kind of economy. So these are the three objectives. Survival, that means ensure your existence. Finally, earn profit. Once you have established your existence, then if you are profit enough, then you can increase scale of production, and finally you can go to diversify. You can go for diversification. That means having your presence across different industry or more than one industry. That is called diversification. That means offering new services to the existing customers or new customers. Here we are talking about social objective. What objective we are having towards the people who are not directly related to the organization. It means the people who are living in our vicinity. We need to provide them employment. We need to provide them healthy environment, or we need to make all effort that are possible on our part to reduce the pollution, to adopt green technology, or a predetermined part of the profit that you consider ethical is to also be allocated for infrastructure development of the surrounding region. That are our social objective. Towards public, we are having objective employment, etc. What about customers? We need to provide quality product. We need to provide augmented product, advanced product, so that we can improve the standard of living of the people who are our customers. And we also need to ensure that they get access to all these products at fair price. Talking about government, timely payment of the liability and compliance to all the laws that are being laid by the government through its various legislations, and whatever kind of rule are promulgated by the concerned ministry are to be also followed. That is our responsibility towards government. When you're talking about the personal work environment, this is one of the most important conditions after salary or cash remuneration, that we need to provide them a working environment which is quite wholesome to their health. It means there must be safety provision, hygiene provisions, and also a cordial environment. It means they do not feel like somebody is superior student. Yes, they are, but they need to feel as human being first. It means respect for each other, and prevailing discipline and respect toward authority must be existent in any kind of business organization. Then we are talk about social and financial. We need to ensure their social security. That means might happen, they come across any industrial accident, then what would happen to their family, or what would happen to their family after their retirement. So we need to ensure gratuity, provident fund, and all that provision which ensure them to act freely and risk-free. Financial, it means their remuneration should be fair enough that are prevalent in the industry. In modern times, if we want to retain our most important asset, we need to reward them as their efficiency asks us or asks us to do. Then development. Yes, of course, nobody can be satisfied with the quantum of money paid and kind of environment provided to them. But we need to also think about their improving productivity, the more better opportunity in which they can utilize the potential that they have accumulating over a period of time. That means training and development program must be organized for them on the part of organization. Now finally we are coming to discuss, is it possible for a business entity to survive or to exist without having a profit motive? No, in modern times it is not possible. Very first thing, how important profit is to ensure survival. You know what, guys, by investing huge amount of capital, be it in the fixed asset or current asset, huge risk is being undertaken by the businessman. Why he did so? You know what, nowadays these times are considered as the time of changes. every year, every month we are experiencing some kind of changes. For that we need to increase the quantum of capital again in order to get ourselves updated. For that we need to have sufficient amount of profit. If we want to ensure our survival, we need to keep updating ourselves. We need to provide all those facilities which are even provided by the established business organization. So that is why profit is required in order to ensure survival. Coming to the growth. Yes, if we want to provide quality product at affordable price, we need to increase the scale of production, and scale of production require more investment. Many a time it is not possible that the financial institutions are ready to provide us capital at affordable rate of interest, or due to high quantum of risk available, public is also not ready to subscribe as owner. In that case, we need to retain our own profit and recapitalize it or capitalize it for expansion of the business organization, so that we can reduce the cost of production, we can hire better managers, and the resultant would be quality product can be offered to the customer. At the same time we are earning profit, but we are offering them at a price which is giving them quite high satisfaction. Then coming to the efficiency. Yes, efficiency means productivity. We are talking about the productivity of our manpower or our machine. If we want to maintain our efficiency and we want to improve it, we need to spend on training and development. For that we need money, and money will come from profit. If we are having no loss, no profit situation, in that case we are just ensuring our survival. But when we think about growth, we think about retaining our workforce, we think about reducing the cost. In that case, we need to reinvest our profit into our business entity. We need to provide better services, better remuneration, and better working environment to our machines and our manpower, so that we can improve their efficiency. Then prestige. Yes, goodwill. When we are spending predetermined as per the law, or as we consider it is our ethical responsibility, portion of profit on the social development, we are providing quality product at affordable price, that is okay. But besides that, we need to also invest, or we need to also contribute towards the social and economic infrastructure in our surrounding, or even for those who are deprived section of the society. Then our organization will have good reputation. For example, you may have seen an advertisement that is about the Vatika hair oil. They say what 1% of the price goes to those girls who are either orphan or the victim of some kind of accident. So this creates the prestige of organization. Yes, they are thinking about society besides their basic interest. Then talking about motivation. You know what? There is a hunger in the businessman. Yes, when I start earning profit, I should earn more, so that they get motivated. So for earning more profit or motivating the businessman, establish business for earning profit, and if there is no profit, why or how will he motivated to remain in that business? Why should not he liquidate his investment and try his hand somewhere else? So in order to retain a businessman in the same kind of business, we need to provide him with the more and more profit. What will he do with that? He will establish new industries, and establishment of new industries will lead to the creation of new employment, increase in the national income, increase in the national production, per capita income, and consequently improving life standard of all of us. This is all about today's lecture. If you enjoyed this lecture, like us, subscribe and share it with your friends. Stay safe, stay home, comply the words of our Honorable Prime Minister. Have a good time. Goodbye.